Hello everybody, and welcome to my review of My Beautiful Man Season 1. The first thing I'm gonna say is that this was really cute and really fun, but also a little bit unhealthy, I think, just in terms of its representation of love. It's been years since I've watched BL drama, so I'm not too sure how this genre has changed since then and what the typical tropes and cliches are now. But I remember back then, the BL dramas were mostly targeted at and made for straight women, so often the gay men portrayed in it weren't really realistic or relatable, and sometimes even perpetuated harmful stereotypes or ideas about queer men. But I don't think My Beautiful Man really falls into the harmful category, and there's a certain innocence and charm to the show, and there were some very sweet moments. But I just found the romance a little questionable, and I'll explain about this a bit later when I talk about the two main characters. But all in all, despite my reservations about the romance, I still really liked this series. It was so funny, and the second-hand embarrassment in this show was so palpable. I literally kept wanting to hide my face somewhere because the characters, usually the protagonist, was doing or saying something extremely stupid and massively embarrassing, but the show's particular brand of awkward also made it a very entertaining ride, so I'd probably say that it's a good thing how awkward this show is. Also, I thought the actors did a really good job at portraying the particular quirks and nuances of their characters and bringing them to life, and also making them likable despite how flawed the characters were. So My Beautiful Man is about 17-year-old Hira who is very shy and has a stutter. He has no friends and just wants to be invisible at school. But when he's introducing himself to his class at the start of the new school year, he begins to stutter. And that's when the most beautiful person he's ever seen, Kiyoi, walks into the room, and Hira falls instantly in love. This is Hira's first time feeling this way about anyone, and he develops a kind of obsessive love for Kiyoi and worships him as a king or like a god. Now, when I was younger and a total romance noob, I used to like the whole idea of having one true love. Like in Hira's case, where Kiyoi is the only person he's ever loved, and he thinks Kiyoi is so beautiful and so special, and he's the only person Hira sees and is attracted to. Which is basically the "I'm only gay for you" trope. Though for Hira, he doesn't like girls, he doesn't like boys, he just likes Kiyoi. So past me would have thought that this was so lovely, it's so romantic and beautiful, they're meant to be together, and all that fluffy, gooey stuff. But now that I'm older and hopefully wiser, I thought the relationship between Hira and Kiyoi just felt quite unhealthy to me. Because Hira essentially knows nothing about Kiyoi and yet develops such intense feelings for him, even though Kiyoi treats him pretty horribly and gets him to run errands for him and his friends. And Hira just happily does this because he's so in love with Kiyoi. So it had that element of bully-victim romance. The show does make a point to say that the way Hira reveres Kiyoi is not right, and his feelings are actually pretty selfish, and that Hira needs to see Kiyoi as just a normal person, like a real flesh and blood human with feelings, not some untouchable god or king, and he's just the peasant or servant. But even by the end of the season, I still don't think Hira truly learned this lesson, so I hope it's something they'll explore more in season 2. I also think that Hira as a character needs more work, because if you take away his feelings for Kiyoi, Hira is pretty much just an empty shell of a person with no real personality or character traits or motives. His main defining trait is that he's into photography, and even that is something he's not sure he likes, but he just does because that allows him to feel distant and detached from the world, like an observer rather than an active participant. So I do hope he gets a lot more development in the next season and becomes more well-rounded. For Kiyoi, he was a much more interesting and layered character. He's the typical aloof, handsome, cool dude who can't articulate his emotions and just expects people to be able to read between the lines and know how he's feeling. My favorite episode of the season was episode 5, when the story is retold from Kiyoi's perspective and we begin to understand why he treated Hira like he did. So the reason why I think Kiyoi's feelings for Hira are also kind of unhealthy is because the reason why he notices and eventually likes Hira stems from a deep insecurity that he has within himself. So as a child, his mother remarried and had kids with his new stepfather. So Kiyoi felt like an outsider and unloved. So he wanted to become a TV idol with many fans who would love him. And so he becomes attracted to Hira because he likes the way that Hira looks at him with such passion and like he's the only person who exists in this world. So it's quite an egotistical and selfish reason that he wants to be with Hira. And this is why I found their romance so questionable, and I'm still on the fence about whether or not they should actually be together and if they would be good for each other. Because at this stage, it doesn't seem like they love each other for who the other is as a person. They don't even really know who the other is, and they don't make each other better people either. And also, their feelings for each other are based on their own internal insecurities and problems, which is usually just a recipe for disaster and unhappiness and codependent relationships. Honestly, I think they both have so much work to do on themselves that they really shouldn't be together until they both sort themselves out. I also felt really bad for Koyama because he's really supportive and kind and such a good friend to Hira, and I think he would have been really good for him. And I think even Hira himself knows this. He also said that he's never felt so comfortable around anyone else. I also think Koyama's character, plot-wise, could have been utilized a little bit more to add more drama and complexity to the mix. And finally, I just want to give a shout out to the ending credits song. It's called Follow by Rosu. I think that's how it's pronounced. And I've been listening to this song on repeat. It's got such a catchy tune and the lyrics encompasses Kiyoi's feelings for Hira so well. I'll leave a link to it in the comments below if you wanted to check it out. And so that's it for my review. So a very charming and fun series with a whole lot of awkward. For those of you who've already seen season 1, what did you think of the romance? Did you find it swoon-worthy and sweet? Or like me, just a tad unhealthy? Let me know in the comments below because I'd love to have a discussion about it. As always, thank you so much for watching. Please like the video if you did, as it really makes my day. And I'll definitely be watching season 2 soon, so subscribe if you want to get my thoughts on that one as well. And until next time, take care and I'll see you when I see you.